My name is Lauren Finnegan. I'm one of your city coordinators along with Christy. Welcome. How's everyone doing today? Oh, I like that. Good. Thanks for joining us. We're here every Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. A big thank you to the Dallas Entrepreneur Center for always hosting. So big round of applause, please. Let's thank the Dallas Entrepreneur Center. Thank you. Good. And if you haven't been here before, if this is your first time, 1 Million Cups is an educational program produced by the Kauffman Foundation to educate, connect, engage local entrepreneurs while helping build startups on a grassroots level. We'll have 2 presenters today. They'll present for 6 minutes and then have 15 minutes for feedback and Q&A. So we welcome your interaction. We really hope that you raise your hand. And if you do, we'll have Greg come around with the mic so that you have that volume, since we are recording today for our personal YouTube as well as one of the presenters. Yes, because we do have a newsletter and YouTube channel, so we hope that you subscribe to those. But we also want to extend a big thank you to our vendors. So a big round of applause for Two for always giving us the delicious treats, and then Shade Tree Coffee Roasters for keeping us caffeinated. So big thank you. What's 1 Million Cups without coffee? So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our first presenter. So everyone please stand up and give a warm welcome to Bryce from Standish. So big
Hi everybody, my name is Bryce and I sell salon chairs. I don't know if you knew this, but salon chairs don't sell themselves. Somebody's got to do it, so I do it. So I got into salon chairs through a little bit of insider intel. I found out through a friend that there are actually more salons in the United States than there are gas stations. If you can believe it, there's roughly just over 100,000 gas stations in the United States. And there are almost 400,000 salons in the United States. And when you count salons plus spas and other related businesses, there's almost 1 million locations. So I got to thinking to myself, an average chair is about $300 to $500, mirrors, stations, shampoo units, all that stuff together. If every salon in the United States averaged a transaction of about $1,000, you quickly do the math, it's about $1 billion opportunity. So I just could not resist myself. So the truth is that just as recent as 4 or 5 years ago, the distribution channels were really antiquated. So most people bought their salon furniture through a door-to-door rep, or through catalogs, or a website that looked like this. So not to pick on Minerva or anything, but this is literally what their website looked like 4 years ago. Looked like something out of the 1900s. There's void of pictures. The pictures were broken. They barely have the price. Oh, it does have the dimensions. This is actually a really good product page. And then they ask you to call into a call center to then haggle with their sales reps. So it just seemed like a really big opportunity. The other secret here is that I'm in a marketing agency, so this seemed right for an opportunity to start our own business and put our own business into our own portfolio and brag about that. So with our marketing team help, we launched a beautiful website. You go to the next one. That's also beautiful, but this is our first website. It was completely innovative for the industry, completely disrupted the industry, got a lot of attention from other people in the industry because it was fully immersive. The idea is you go through these inspirational vignettes and go room to room, pick out the product, spin it around, look at it, add to your cart. It was awesome, beautiful, innovative, immersive. Go to the next one, and you go to the next room to room. So this is exactly what you would probably picture if you decided you wanted to sell salon furniture to a salon, this is the type of salon you want to sell to, right? Awesome, branding opportunity, blah, blah, blah. The truth is, if you remember back, I told you a while ago that there are more salons in the United States than there are gas stations. And the truth is most of them don't look like this. Most stylists, the average stylist in the United States makes an average of $23,000 a year. And so they are living paycheck to paycheck. And price and perception of price is extremely important to them. So what we did is we scrapped our beautiful website. We threw it in the garbage can. It was working pretty well, but it didn't meet our expectations because at some point we realized that if our marketing agency was going to own an e-commerce site, it wasn't enough to have a beautiful brand. We had to actually make it work. So it wasn't meeting our expectations. So we threw this website in the garbage can. And most salons look like this. They're called Who Cut You, apparently. I don't recommend going there unless that's your style. Go ahead and hit the next slide for me. So we threw that site in the garbage can, and we bought a $300 template. And it was atrocious. It was embarrassing. We didn't even finish building out the content before we launched the website. $300 template, void of content, overnight increased our conversions by over 400%. Literally overnight, we got 4 times the amount of sales as we did the day before. So I think the learning there is that above beauty and innovation and branding and all those great things that marketers want, we found that affordability, or at least perception of affordability, accessibility, familiarity trump all those other things in a scenario where this is a very commodity-driven industry. So go ahead, hit it again. So we embarked on this journey to optimize our own site. We knew there had to be another way other than selling salon furniture through a site that's void of actual content and design. So we iterated design through A/B testing, a lot of research, analytics. This is the next version of the website. I'm actually going to scan about 4 years worth of history here in a couple of slides. But here we attempted to start bringing in discounts. We did it through stick figure graphics, which was equally as effective as really cool design graphics. Really trying to emphasize more our value points in that yellow strip at the top and be more clear with, one more minute, I'm told we have one more minute. Okay, so go ahead and go to the next slide. Then we experimented with making those a little bit more graphical and bumping up the design aesthetic again, just to reach with credibility a little bit more. Go ahead. And then we redesigned the website based on being informed by all the different tests and stuff that we had run and all the things that we had learned. Again, this is what it looks like today. Chock full. It's a little dark on this presentation board here, but chock full of videos and personalized service and things like that. So go ahead and hit it again. Disrupted the industry. At one point, we counted the design elements on our product page and counted over 48 elements of the product page that was informed by research that we had done, web analytics, or A/B testing that resulted in a different result than what we had originally planned. Go ahead again. And to date, we've built a multi-million-dollar business. We've been able to increase our own conversion rates by over 950%. There are hundreds of distributors. It's a very saturated market. We've become a top 5 distributors, and we're competing with the likes of Sally Beauty and L'Oreal. Been able to double our average order value through testing and increased our own organic traffic we hit at one time. We even wrote a book about it. It's called Salon Chairs Don't Sell Themselves. Go ahead again. And that's it. So I'm here today because we believe we're forever a startup. We're constantly looking for new breakthrough ideas. We never accept that we've got it figured out by any means. The point that we become complacent is the day that you get run by the next standish. So that's it.
Awesome. We're going to open up for questions, and Greg will come over with Mike.
Very cool presentation. I have to ask, what's the name of your marketing agency?
The marketing agency is called REAP Marketing. So we specialize mostly in marketing optimization, A/B testing through a tool called Optimizely. REAP Marketing, based out here in Dallas, down the street, Depot.
I was actually going to leapfrog on that with my question. So you guys are a marketing firm that's turned into a side project, and now maybe more so the project than the marketing firm, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was just sort of so the book goes into the detail of the story, but this company was based on, short version is it was sort of a result of a double dog dare. And it didn't really seem intimidating to me for all the reasons that I mentioned in the presentation. It's a huge opportunity for just a small boutique agency to take on. It seemed like shooting fish in a barrel to launch a website with a template and start selling salon furniture overnight. But yeah, that small project and that small, what was going to be a case study in how to launch a successful website within 60 days, ended up becoming a business that's actually much larger, does much more revenue than our marketing agency.
So, do you recommend that people not build beautiful websites?
Not build beautiful. So the question was, do I recommend that people not build beautiful websites? So there's definitely I've seen countless presentations up here about how branding makes the day. And I can't tell another company that's wrong. All I can tell you is based on my experiences, particularly in a commodity-driven business, if you're going to be a disruptor, it's not always the brand that makes the day. Brand can be a differentiator is what we've learned. But I think the greater lesson here in a lot of our tests is there is the combination of like really good-looking website, a very practical application. So, but rarely does branding make the day in and of itself, and a beautiful website make the day. Innovations a lot of times can be just really confusing. Beautiful design, in some cases, and especially our case, beautiful design looked really expensive, and I've placed a number of phone calls to clients that built carts but then abandoned them. And I would call them and I would ask them, you know, I understand you probably moved on by this point, but you know, why'd you not buy from us? And the first guy would tell me, because your product is really expensive. And my product wasn't any more expensive. I was intentional about having competitive prices, so I thought the guy was an idiot, so I hung up on him. Called the next guy. He told me that the product was too expensive, so I hung up on that idiot too. Called the next guy, he told me it was too expensive, so at some point, it's not the guy, right? It's yourself. At some point, you gotta do some internalization. So I dug in a little bit and I asked the guy, well, if you said it's more expensive and it's not more expensive, can you elaborate on that? Because that's not the first time I've heard that. And so you can hear him sort of typing on his computer, and he goes, well, golly, I didn't realize this, but yeah, I guess you are the same price as the product that I bought. I don't know, it just looked expensive. So that's really kind of when the light bulb went off, and I realized that we had over-designed and over-innovated a website. I think there are times and places for a super innovative website. Everybody wants a beautiful website. Nobody comes to our marketing agency and says, I want an ugly website. But I'm here to tell you that a $300 template saved our business after having gone through a website project that probably would have cost a client, $100,000 to $150,000 to build this experience. So I think a lot of times, especially if you're strapped for cash and you don't really have market intelligence about what you're getting into, it's safe to build a $50 or $100 website from a template. Get it up. I think Devin called it the stick figure website instead of the Statue of David website. I think there's a lot to that. And then the trick is from there, like design, iterate the design and do a lot of testing to figure out what the combination of beautiful design and familiarity is.
Thank you for the presentation. I had a question a little bit about the chairs themselves. How do you make them? Where do you keep any inventory, and sort of what's the kind of business behind the actual getting chairs to the customers?
Yeah, so the question's on sort of logistics and inventory and warehousing and stuff like that. Standish is actually a very hollow organization. There are no employees, and we keep no product, with the exception of we do have a showroom to demo our top-selling products and our newest products. If there's no employees, we actually hire our marketing agency to do what our marketing agency does best. And then just like most distributors or retailers who sell other brands, a lot of things are drop shipped from our manufacturer, and we try to be as clear and transparent about that as possible. So we do have some private label items, but they're things that were made specifically for us through our own specifications that are fulfilled by our manufacturers and suppliers.
So it sounds like you iterated a lot. You talked about one of those changes. I'm kind of curious, what single change did you make that you think yielded the biggest improvement to sales and traffic?
Yeah, man, it's really hard to put your finger on like one specific thing that really made the day. And I'd say every time we think we got something figured out, something shifts in the market. So I'm going to answer that. Before I answer that, I'll mention that it's really important when you've got an idea to iterate or design around. It's important to understand that the average A/B, so 60 to 65% of all A/B tests result in a failure, which means that most of our ideas as marketers really aren't that good. Or I'll rephrase that. They're really good, but other people just don't like them. They don't have good taste. What that means on a deeper level is if we're just implementing a bunch of changes and changing our website every time we have a knee-jerk reaction to something or we want to see something happen to feed our own ego, then at best we're just treading water. So can you hit this slide for just a second? You're going the wrong way. Go down past the. There we go. So here's an example for people who don't know. This is an example of an A/B test on our own remarketing website. So on one version, we have like all of our team members listed on the page, and it's about our company, a Meet Our Team page. And on this side is, I'm going to tell you which one came first, but on this side is just a letter from me talking about my background and why I founded the company. So in your brain, think of which one I like better and which one performs better. So now that you've got that locked into your brain, I hate this version of the website because my agency really isn't about me. I provide opportunities to my team to learn this testing process, but it's really not about me. I don't want clients calling me in the middle of the night when something's happening. So I prefer this version. But the reality is people make a quick judgment about the size of our company or our ability to do their work based on this version of the page. This produces leads for us at a rate of about 60% greater productivity. Hit it again. So here's an example of one of the A/B tests that we ran on our website with Standish, where we experimented with, we've constantly tested free shipping, which actually was a pretty phenomenal result when we first introduced free shipping, because we found that most people were accustomed to buying things on Amazon. Really tough to compete with Amazon, by the way, except they don't have our product. But people have been trained by Amazon to expect free shipping. So this was a huge disruptor to start offering free shipping when we were new. But at some point, it's just not paying the bills to factor in when you ship 10,000 pounds worth of hardwoods and glass and mirrors across the country. Rarely does that cost less than $5,000 or $500 to $1,000. So we started weaning people off of it, and we experimented with offering $99 flat rate shipping for freight against 75% off shipping for freight at these different spending clip levels. And the truth is that the $99 shipping, actually there's more value in that to the client. But we have phenomenally better results with the 75% off shipping, because most people who came in just to buy a piece goods item saw $99 shipping and they had a little bit of a freak out factor, right? Because they're used to free and all they wanted maybe was one item. But 75% off is a little bit more universal to everybody. You can sort of mentally picture a pie chart with 75% of it, cut out or whatnot. So we actually put more money in the bank with this version. So this is a better offer. This is a richer offer to our clients, but this worked much better. And I think the whole to answer your question, the experimentation around the whole free shipping, $99 shipping, 75% off shipping, really has made a big difference in a lot of the sales.
All right, awesome. I love the idea of A/B testing. Got some background in that. It sounds like you guys are an optimization shop. Who's your ideal customer, right? And you guys do full funnel analysis and CRO.
Yeah. So yes, site analysis, CRO. Yes, a lot of A/B testing. We have a lot of best practices that we can help just get it done. So things that are known problems for a lot of clients, and there are known solutions to those known problems, which we call it just do it, the just do it list. Anytime it starts getting subjective or we're exploring, there's an unknown solution or unknown problem, is really where the candidates for testing comes in. The best candidates for A/B testing are sites or businesses that already have some success and already have a material amount of traffic I'd say anywhere in the neighborhood of at least 10 to 20,000 unique visitors per month, then there's enough traffic there to kind of get through a number of A/B tests. So the sort of profile looks like an already successful company who is looking for better results from their existing marketing, rather than solely relying on spending more money on ads to feed more people into the top of the sales funnel. Traditionally, we had a lot of success with restaurants, particularly like big chains like Brinker's, Chili's, and Maggiano's. E-commerce, because there's such a clear value to the client when we find a conversion going through. B2B, because it's all about generating a lead to do a sales demo in most cases, and then real estate. It's a lot like B2B, where you got to have a lead to tour the house with a property. So those 4 industries where we've had the most success, but really any website with a goal that already has some amount of success is a candidate for A/B testing.
All right, any more questions or feedback? Okay, last question then. What can the Dallas startup community do for you?
Yeah, so again, I'll say that I don't think we've got anything really figured out. I think we've figured some things out, and we're having a lot of fun with the journey. But I think anytime we can get, I don't take it lightly when somebody says, "Have you tried this?" or "Have you tried that?" Worst case scenario, it turns into a conversation. Best case scenario, we get inspired to try a new idea, which then we can A/B test. I'm not above anything. We don't not do things because they're not on brand. We don't have brand customers so tight that we can't just try random things. So any kind of like feedback that you have, any questions, I get inspiration really from every conversation that I have with somebody. So sometimes I even just take a different route to work sometimes, and it makes me think a little bit differently. So not above any kind of feedback, criticism, or whatnot. So I guess that's how I can use.
All right, before we kick off the next presenter, just a quick announcement that we would love for you to join the conversation on Twitter and on Facebook. Our hashtag is 1MCDAO, and then we have the other Twitter handles up here on the board for you so you can follow along, and please send feedback, just stay engaged with us. We love tweeting back to you guys. And then on our Facebook page, we're 3 away from 1,000 likes, so so if just 3 of you, hopefully more, can go on there, you'll stay updated. We post the calendar for every week, and then we have our newsletter and our YouTube channel on there as well, just easy to subscribe. And then we do have a new little board out front by the elevator. So if you do have events that you'd like to share with the rest of the community, please write all the information down. We have that space available for you guys. And then without further ado, we'd like to stand up and please welcome our next presenter, Devin from Millennia Launchpad. Please welcome.
My name is Devin Diaz. I'm with Millennial Launchpad, and I am a serial entrepreneur. How many entrepreneurs are out there? I guess I'm in the right place. So, our business is basically a match.com for entrepreneurs with private equity. We started this business based on the fact that for the last 15 years I've had a couple of businesses. I've franchised successfully a couple of businesses. My first business that I franchised, we were right in the middle of selling our 3rd franchise when my business partner died of a heart attack. And it caused a whole lot of problems in my life and the lives of families and you name it, franchisees. So I thought, I better go out and get venture cap. That's the new buzzword around town. It was early 2000s. And so I tried to knock on all the doors, and everybody wanted $5,000 to introduce you to the next person, and it became so frustrating. After about a year, I finally found somebody that could help me. And all of the advice I'd gotten along the way, all the door knocking I had done, all the hand holding that happened, finally all of the mystery started to be revealed, and I thought, wow, this is impossible. How does anybody get venture cap? All you hear about is .com venture cap. I got funded. But it used to be really, really difficult. So long story short, I 2008 comes around, markets crash. I went up to Oregon to help another business very similar to mine grow and expand. And while I was there, I joined the Entrepreneur Network, started to coach startups, really understand the processes better on how to get venture cap, honed my craft a bit, joined another startup, helped them expand their company, which brought me to Tulsa. And I met a gentleman called Michael Ford, and Michael is a serial entrepreneur, and we think quite a bit alike about things. And he said, hey, I got this client, it's a DNA weight loss clinic. I don't know if anybody's heard of Slim Generation. They're on Good Morning Dallas every once in a while. And they want to expand. They're trying to do a franchise model, but it's not going the way they want it to go. You got any other ideas? Said, yeah, let's go out and get private equity. So we walked him through the whole process of developing the business for a private equity placement. And we're now in negotiations with venture cap for a $10 million raise, and that should be happening in the next 30 days. So it was a really, really fun. Thank you. I thought it was cool, yeah. So we took that concept. We said, Tulsa is such a small market. You know, I'm coming from Silicon Valley in Orange County, California, and everybody knows somebody that can get you in front of the angel groups or the VCs. But in Tulsa, where it's a small market, that opportunity doesn't exist. So we got together with Eddie. Eddie is an investor, private equity investor. He deals mostly with real estate deals, and he's out of Florida. And we started coming up with this concept. And he said, hey, I would love to start investing in more tech companies. Can you bring them to me? So we started fumbling around with some ideas, and voila, Millennial Launchpad started. And basically what we do is we provide a virtual coaching and mentoring system. And then we create a campaign that we send out to our database. We have a database of over 30,000 global angels, private equity, and venture cap partners out there looking for deals. Now, the mystery is, how do you get your business looked at seriously? And that has changed so much in the last even 5 years. You don't need $5 million to do a startup anymore. You can do that startup at $250,000. It's become cybermetrics for the investors. Now they're looking for certain things in your business plan. And what we found is when businesses come to us for help, they don't have those things in place. And you really need to show that you have. It's like fishing. You need to show the lure. You got to get them seeing the sparkles, right? And so what we thought is, well, we can't really charge $5,000, $10,000 to help people, because how many of you have startups that are going to write a check for $5,000? So we thought, well, what if we don't do all the work? What if we put the work back on you? And we just tell you what you need and give you templates and coach you along the way and set up mile markers where we stay in contact. So you submit your material, we do some review, and then every once in a while we set up a phone call to keep you going along the way and get you on the fast track. Then we package that all together, put an email together with your name on it, and send it out. And so you start to get the feedback and the analytics and all of the information you need from investors, and they will tell you what to change, what to adjust, and what you need to get another review. Now, then we thought, go back to that. Then we thought, well, what if we could do this really cheap? So we started with, let's do the initial review, because that takes time to go through all your materials, for $199. We call it the pre-flight checklist. And then it's $99 a month, and you just pay, and we set up a dashboard for you with all the steps you're going to need to have in place to get your package in front of investors. We also don't want to judge your business. We're not here to tell you it's good or bad. We're just going to tell you what they would be looking for. So we go through that database, find the investors that invest in your market, and then kind of give you some advice on, they're really looking for this and they're really looking for that. You can tell us at any time, heck with you guys, just send it out, and we will. So that's our business, and we've already got a few customers up and running on it. It's been exciting to see new opportunities coming through, and we want more. We want more people to come in and see that it's not a mystery. So thank you very much.
Open up for questions, wait for the mic.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Bill. I'm with Warpy. I was listening to your presentation. There was an article out from Sammy from the Dan Fund talking about how it may not be useful to do local accelerators anymore. Do you see yourself being partially replacing those? Because if I come to you for just hundreds of dollars and not have to give up any percentage of my company, do you see yourself competing with the accelerators?
You know, yes and no. There is something to be said for the mentorship in an accelerator, someone sitting right by your side, hand-holding you through. We can do that for you, but then we're going to ask for more money, but we're not taking equity in your company at all. That's not something we're doing. I just want to help. Anybody know why investors invest? There's two reasons.
Because they made a lot of money and want to get back.
Sort of. They're greedy, and they don't want to miss out on a deal. So what we're trying to do is position your business to sparkle in front of them. Hey, I want you to see me. And they're going to look for certain things. And because the cost of getting into a startup now is so easy, a lot of angels have gone to something like a cybermetrics model. They're not as interested in a very early stage of getting to know you. And that's where it was when I was trying to look for money, is everybody wanted to really get to know you. Is this guy for real? Who is this person? And then if I trust him, then I'll introduce him to the next person. And then you just get dragged along and dragged along. Now it's, do you have your 8 things that are set up? There's 8 specific things you're going to look for, right? The new IP is now traction. A lot of angels and early investors are looking for, did you get customers? And that goes back to price with the stick figure, right? We try to consult with you and say, hey, your thing doesn't have to be the statue of David right now. You just need a stick figure, and you need to show that you can sell that. You need traction. That is what early stage investors are looking for most often, is can you attract the customers? Then there's 7 other things they're going to start looking for. And what we try to do is put you in that frame of mind to get those 7 things nailed down so that you've just got it down. And then when they get in contact with you, here's how it works. This is what you need. Anybody watch Shark Tank? I hate that show. That's the biggest problem that I see with young startups going after venture capital. Here, look at my widget. I'm going to sell you my widget. Look how cool it is. Well, that's great, but I don't want to buy your widget. I want to buy your business, and you haven't told me a thing about your business. You're making me guess, right? So what we try to do is get you in the frame of mind to say, I need to sell my business. I need to package my business as a widget to sell to a buyer who wants to invest in that widget. So this fancy, fun thing that I created is not as important to an investor as what the business is. And you need to be able to answer those questions more than my gadget does 15 different things.
Thanks for the presentation. One of the ways I'm interpreting what you're describing is you're almost offering mentorship in a certain space in which I think a lot of entrepreneurs, particularly newer entrepreneurs, struggle with, right? Because they don't have the experience getting in front of people and really formulating their ideas in a way that investors may find attractive. So, having said that, have you considered any kind of funding models that give you some kind of skin in the game, whether it's sort of a transactional piece of a transaction if it closes, or a very, very small maybe piece of equity, and that I think just aligning the incentives of actually helping these people achieve what they're looking to do.
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been working with 3 businesses that I've actually been offered equity stake in. I love that, except I can't go to the gas station and put my equity card into the gas station, right? I mean, it just doesn't work. You're taking a huge risk. We try not to involve ourselves in the business that way. Like everybody, we need to keep the lights on too. Those 3 businesses, I've worked with hundreds of businesses, but those 3 I did end up taking equity in because I did believe in them and I got tied into them, and they're also paying me some consulting fees as well. So it kind of was, yeah, great. As long as I keep gas in the tank, I'm happy with this. But for the most part, 9 out of 10 businesses are going to fail. So I would have to take equity in 10 businesses, wait 5 years for an acquisition, and then get paid. So it really plays the odds out of my favor at this point in our business. It might change as time goes on. We might set up our own syndicate at some point. I know Eddie is really interested in doing something like that, but we need to prove the model to him to show that through our mentorship and what we learn from all of the businesses that we work with, that we can improve your odds of success. Take the 9 and make it a 7, right? So
It's almost
9%, 70%.
The stickman versus the sculpture model
Yes.
is what we.
I'm sorry?
I said it's almost kind of like the stickman and the
Yeah.
creative model. as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, we're still a startup phase
Right.
too. I mean, all of us on the team have got years and years of investing experience behind us. We've helped tons of businesses. It just sort of came together as, hey, what if we did this? Because you got Y Combinator, you got all these places that try to incubate and accelerate. But a lot of people don't have the ability as an entrepreneur to give up their lives and homes and move into a space and be mentored, right? They still have an A job. They're working on their B job. They just need some guidance and some help and support, but they don't. Who wants to pay $5,000 for that?
Thank you.
Hey, sounds like an awesome mission. Are either you or any of your partners brokers or financial representatives where you can get success fees for helping people get funded?
Eddie has a broker license, but it's really not where we are today. It doesn't mean that we wouldn't eventually get there, but that's not where our model is. Our model is being more hands-off. In other words, we don't want to taint the water, and we want you to go on this journey. We just want to give you the tools to get there. So we're not looking to take a reward, because then our success is based on getting you funded, and that right now is not a success story for us. Our success story is getting you in front of the right angels and VCs and letting you do the business at that point. Our success ends when we can get you in front of somebody.
Sure. Yeah, the value proposition is as much knows what we do not do as what we do.
Yeah.
With your current model, you said that there's milestones and benchmarks along the way. Do you have that visually represented so I can see that?
Yeah, it's on our website. I'm sorry, I should have put that up there. It's just that we had 6 minutes. And I was like, yeah, it's on our website. When you sign up as a partner, what we do is we then model your benchmarks for you. So it's not necessarily a generic one. It's when we do the pre-flight checklist, we go through what you have, where you want to go, what your market looks like, and then we go in and we go, okay, you need to do these things, and then we put your dashboard together. So,
Have any of the companies that you've worked with been funded or been acquired?
yes, getting funded actually. Actually, I worked with a company about 5 years ago. They got about a $750,000 seed. The company, Slim Generation, we're working with them right now. They're the ones that are getting some big dollars in. We are right around, we're actually sending out a package for another company right now that I just love. I think it's going to be the next really, really cool app. And so, I mean, we're just starting off on this website, but in my former life, I do have success with that kind of thing, coaching and guiding people along the path.
So a lot of your success hinges upon the companies that you have in your portfolio getting funding. How do you ensure the message that you're sending out to your database of VCs, angels, etc., is one that's actually being looked at?
That's a great question. First of all, let me back up. Our success is getting you in front of the right person with a right package. That's where our success ends. I don't necessarily want to base that on funding, because not everybody is going to get funded. And we don't put your package together, you put it together. So it really is all about you. All we're doing is providing the guidance and the knowledge and shortcutting you from the years it took me to get to the right people, for you to get to the right people. And then the other part of your question was?
How do you make sure it's looked at?
We have an analytics tool. So when we set up your email, we send it through an analytics email database. And so you're going to start seeing who's opening, who's responding. When your package is hosted, we put it on a host site. When it's downloaded, you can see it's been downloaded. It's then up to you to follow up. If they don't get in touch with you, you need to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I noticed you opened my email and you downloaded it. I'm looking for feedback. What did you think? And they'll tell you. Now you have to remember, these people get hundreds of business plans every month that they have to go through. They're only going to look at your first 3 sentences to see if they want to see more. The first thing they do is they look at the top, they see first 3 sentences, they flip over to your summary of your pro forma and look at the J-curve. Is there a good J-curve? Is it something I would invest in? And then if those 2 things don't ring for them, it's in the trash. With Slim Generation, we sent out a package to 1,400 angels and VCs, and within minutes we started seeing some of these guys opening 20, 30, 40 times. The one that's funding us, they opened it 76 times within 3 days. Okay? So we do have the analytics to show that people are opening the email.
So it's more about the preparation part for the company and less about you being responsible for their funding.
Yes. Yeah. Again, this is up to you. If you want us to be more involved with that process, then that's a whole other discussion we can have, and it'll be a separate contract and agreement, because then we have to do a lot more of the work and we take on a lot more of the responsibility.
My question is about the project types. So does your model, would it apply to project-specific funding? So I have a media production company. I don't need somebody to fund my company, but I have this documentary film I want to do. The budget is $500,000. I want to find the capital.
Yeah.
Project
What's
based.
interesting is, if you're a service business or a manufacturer, there are some certain key elements in those 2 businesses that are different that you're looking at setting up the business, but the underpinnings of every business are the same. I'm a recovering civil engineer, and when I look at structures, I always look at, okay, there's got to be a foundation, there's got to be columns, there's got to be certain foundations in a building or a structure that have to be there, right? And a business is the same way. You have to have certain things in the business in order for it to be able to stand on its own. So we have one customer who doesn't want equity funding. They want a certain track to get to where they're doing presentations all the time. You know, they want to be an expert speaker. So we set them up to get there because they were going in circles. They didn't know where they were. They've been in the business 2 years. They haven't gotten anywhere close to where they need to be. So Eddie and Michael have been doing a circuit in real estate for a while. They were very successful at that. So they knew exactly what she needed to be doing, and they set her up on that track so that she could start getting in front of larger audiences and start to make a living doing expert speaking. So as far as video production, again, your model has to fit a certain formula for private investing. If you only want $500,000, you have to show an investor how they're going to get their money back, right? Because if an investor puts in the money, they're not going to see any return for 3 to 5 years, and they're not looking for dividends. They need 10 times their money back. Has anybody ever heard that before? Do you know why they need 10 times? Huh? 9 out of 10 fail, right? If I put $250,000 in 10 businesses, I need $2.5 million to $3 million back in 5 years to cover the 9 that went out of business and lost my money, right? So that's how they get their 12, 15% return, plus management fees and that sort of thing. But they have to take a big risk because they're going in for the long haul. They can't just take their money out either. So businesses have to be presented to them in a specific way. And as an entrepreneur, if you want private equity, you have to be willing to play that game. I love my baby, but somebody's going to have to buy it in 3 to 5 years. Right? And IPOs these days are much harder to do for tech. It's rare you're going to get a Facebook and Instagram type IPO anymore. It's all going to be about acquisition. So most important thing in a young startup is getting the traction, get that traction. And then they want to sink a little bit of money in real quick, let it ride for 3 years now, and then get an acquisition for $20 to $30 million, which is much easier to do than a $500 million to $1 billion acquisition or IPO.
Awesome. Last question is, what can the Dallas Startup Community do for you?
Bryce said it best is, hey, we need help. You know, we need ideas. You're the entrepreneurial community. We've started something. We think it has legs for you to help you if you're interested in getting your business funded. But we're not immune to knowing it all, right? And so advice from the communities is great for us. I'd love to have more advice on offering tools or services or what can we do to help you guys get the funding you need to grow your business. That would be awesome. If you like what we have, talk to me later about how we can get you started, or tell your friends and family that are entrepreneurs that need money as well. And we just want to offer another avenue to get funding, because it's not a mystery anymore. It's a game. And if you want to get in the game, you got to play by the rules. Thank you.
All right, that wraps up today's program, and just wanted to say we can't do this without you, so please return, bring some friends, stay in network, make new connections. That's what we're all about here. We do have a wonderful event next week here at the deck called Plugged. It'll be at 6:30 p.m. And so it's an intro to the startup scene, and it will have a relaunch after party following. So we hope to see you there, and also in the morning for another program for 1 Million Cups. But please stay, network, take a free tour of the deck. We have a lot of great staff here that can help show you around if you've never been here before. And that's a wrap. So thank you so much. Enjoy.